Hello students, welcome to the next lecture on ledger. In today's class, we are going to see how to post a given journal in the ledger, or the transactions will be given and then we have to post them in the ledger. So the problem says from the following prepare ledger accounts from the transactions. So first, if we have to prepare ledger accounts, journal is a must. So first, all these transactions have to be prepared in form of a journal entry, and then posting of ledgers have to be done. So we'll just go through the problem. Started business with cash, opened bank account with SBI, goods purchased from Mohan on credit, sold goods to Ramesh. Then you're having cash paid to Mohan, bought goods for cash, purchased furniture, goods sold to Rupali, Rupali returned goods, drew cash for personal use, paid salary. So all these transactions are relating to only 1 month, that is January. So on the respective dates, we are first going to prepare the journal. So we all know journal, how it is to be prepared in the previous class. So just we'll have a glance. Yes, you are having journal. First journal entry, cash account debit to capital for the first transaction. Then bank account is debited to cash, second transaction. Purchases to Mohan, third transaction. Then you are having purchases to Rahul for the fourth transaction. There is a print mistake. It should be Rahul's account is to be on the credit side and purchases to be on the debit side. Next, you are having Ramesh account debit to sales, cash account to Mohan, furniture to cash, Rupali's to sales, sales returns to Rupali, drawings to cash, salary to cash. So the journal is ready in front of us. Now from these respective journal entries, we are going to first prepare the ledgers. For that purpose, we have to first prepare the number of ledger accounts to be prepared. So by going through the journal, we will see that we are having cash account 1, capital account 2, bank account is the third. Now cash is already prepared, leave it. Purchases 4th, Mohan is 5th, then Rahul is 6th, purchases is prepared, leave it. Ramesh is 7th, sales is 8th. Then both these entries are already existing with cash accounts, so I will go for furniture, which is the 9th ledger account. Next you are having Rupali 10th, sales is 11th, sales returns 12th, drawings is 13th, and salary is 14. So in all, we have to see the number of ledger accounts that have to be prepared. Now if it is already prepared, ignore that particular account. If it is not prepared, then only you have to prepare it. Now for example, if I take here, Rupali is one account, sales is another account, sales returns is another. Now here Rupali account is existing, ignore. Now come to drawings, I have to prepare. Cash, already when we are preparing the first ledger, cash account is appeared, so ignore it. Salary, again it's a different. So in the respect of each and every transaction, we will be having 2 accounts. So in the name of those accounts, we have to prepare one ledger for each account. Now if I take the first transaction, first journal entry says cash account is debited to capital account. So the journal entry is appearing in front of us. So based on this journal entry, I have to prepare 2 ledger accounts. One is cash account, one is capital account. So we'll come to the ledger. Now usually cash is a common feature which appears most of the times. So to prepare cash account or cash ledgers, we have to prepare with maximum space. So at least take 10 to 12 lines to prepare cash account. Now when I am preparing the ledger, I know we have learnt the format of ledger in the previous class. So divide the page into, on each side we are going to draw 4 columns for debit transactions and 4 columns for the credit transactions. The middle line should be little darker so that it can divide the page into equal parts. Now remember students, when ledger is to be drawn, the date column and the amount column should be of the same size, whereas this JF, that is journal folio, can be at a very minimum space. Now ledgers are drawn. On the left hand side we'll write debit, right hand side we'll write credit. Just write DR and CR, which is the short form. Now from the first journal entry we are going to post the ledger accounts. So 2 accounts we have drawn, one is cash account, one is capital account. Now we'll first come to cash account. Cash account is appearing on the debit side of my journal entry. So if the account is appearing on the debit side of journal entry, come to that respective ledger, go to the debit side and write the name of other account, that is to capital account. So I will read it as cash account debit to capital account. So we are writing on the debit side. So we are having this capital account which is appearing, on the debit side of my cash account, 2,30,000. Now come to my capital account. Now this capital account should come on the credit side of my this capital account, that is by cash. So I hope the arrow marks which are appearing will give you all the idea on what side the account has to be appearing. So remember, whenever I am drawing the cash or the capital, the account name which is on the top will not appear anywhere in the particular column, either on the debit side or on the credit side. It will be appearing only on the top. So the top account we will see either it is debited by showing cash account debit to capital, whereas capital account credited by cash. Followed? So capital credited by cash. This is how we are reading. That's why it appears on the credit side. That means capital is credited in the journal entry. So the trick is, if this account is debited, write the name of other account on the debit side, and if the account is credited, write the name of other account on the credit side. We'll go for the next entry. Now before going for the next entry, we have to balance the account, because capital is appearing only once in my journal entry. I can balance, so I don't have anything on my debit side. My debit side entry is, or whole column is empty. So whatever is my credit side total, I will leave and write the total. So I will write 2,30,000 on both the sides. Now whatever is the balance, that is the difference, 2,30,000 will be the closing balance at the end of the day. So for the next month I will have the same 2,30,000 which is taken as opening balance. Now second journal entry that we are having is bank account and cash account. Now cash is already prepared in the previous transaction, so I will only have to prepare a new ledger for bank. So bank account is debited to cash. This journal entry is posted. So first bank account is prepared. So in bank account, because it is on the debit side, I will write bank account debit to cash on 8/1/17 with 80,000. So cash account debit to cash. So it is 80,000. Now on the credit side I have my cash account. So I will take here cash account. I'll go back to my cash account. Already on the debit side we are having 2,30,000. Now on the credit side of my cash book I will write by bank account because cash is credited by bank 80,000. Now we are having other transactions. So cash account till my journal is over we are not going to close. Now if I take my bank account, on the debit side only I have the amount, on the credit side we don't have any balances. So whatever is my debit total, the same total is written on the credit side and made equal. Because of double entry system, every debit and credit should be equal, but in practice it is not possible. So whatever is the difference we are having, we will write it. This is the difference amount by saying balance carried down 80,000 or any figure whatever it is, and that same balance is transferred to the opposite side for the next month. Next, third transaction. On 10/1 we had purchases account which is debited to Mohan. So both are new. In the name of both these items I will prepare one ledger account. So purchases account and Mohan account. So now purchases account is on the debit side. So on the debit side of purchase account I'll write purchases account is debited to Mohan on 10/17 25,000. Coming to Mohan's account, on Mohan's account I will write on the credit side saying it is credited by purchases. So now both these accounts will see what to close at the end. Next one, I have purchased goods from Rahul 55,000. So on the same day I have purchased goods from Mohan and Rahul. So Mohan is a separate creditor, Rahul is a separate creditor. So purchases is prepared. Now I will prepare only one account, that is Rahul's account. So purchases account already had this Mohan 25,000. Now the second creditor Rahul 55,000 has to be recorded. And in Rahul's account I should record on 1/1/2017 by purchases 55,000. So ignore the date, it should be 1/10 and balance carried down should be 31/1. So just ignore the date. So we are having on Rahul's account by purchases 55,000 and the account will be closed later on. Next we are having on 20th we are having Ramesh account is debited to sales. So two different accounts have to be opened, Ramesh account and sales account. So Ramesh account is on the debit side of journal entry. So come to the debit side of ledger account, write to sales 25,000. Now come to sales account. Sales account is on the credit side. So on credit side of sales account I will write by Ramesh 25,000. Now we'll see the next journal entry. So on 23/1 Mohan account is debited to cash because we have paid cash to Mohan. So come to Mohan's account. Already there were purchases of 25,000 on 10/1. Now on 23rd we have paid him cash of 20,000. So Mohan account is debited to cash account 20,000. Now we have to balance it. Debit side is less, credit side is more. So credit side you are having 25,000 and debit side you are having 20,000. So the difference of 25,000 is to be taken as balance carried down and the total on both the sides should be 25,000. So while editing the mistake has appeared. Total of Mohan account should be 25,000 on both the sides. Next you are having cash account. already capital and bank is appearing. The next entry has to be entered on 23rd, that cash account is debited to Mohan's account by paying him 20,000. So there is a mistake here also, it should be paid as 20,000. Next, you are having furniture account is debited to cash account. So I'll open furniture account to cash 30,000. I will show on the respective date. Then I'll come to my cash account. On the credit side, we are going to write buy furniture 30,000. Buy furniture 30,000. So you are going to show it on the credit side of cash account. So as and how the entries are being posted, the posting should be done on the same day with the ledgers also. Next, you are having Rupali account is debited to sales. So in Rupali and sales are two different accounts. Open Rupali's account and sales account. So Rupali's account is debited to sales account with 10,000 on the debit side, whereas in sales account we are going to have two, that is one is Madan's account 25,000 and Rupali 10,000. So we are having total two sales account tools accounts which are appearing. So now credit side it is 35,000, whereas debit side you don't have any amount, so 35,000 only is taken as the balance. So it will be taken or carried forward to the next month. Next, sales returns account. Now come to Rahul's account. You are already sold him goods worth 10,000. So on 27th he will see there are certain damaged goods. So he is returning 5,000. So I will write here in Rupali's account debit side 10,000. On 27th the returns made by him, because he is on the credit side, I will write it on the credit side. Rupali's account is credited by sales returns 500. Now see, there is a difference. Total is 10,000. Debit side is more, credit side is less. So the more total or higher total will be minused by the lower total. You will get a balance of 9,500. So the closing balance in Rupali's account is 9,500, which is yet to be received from Rupali. Next, sales returns account. Now sales returns account is on account of damaged goods. So it is on the debit side. So when it is on the debit side, Rupali's account is debited, sales returns account is debited to Rupali. So it should come on the debit side to Rupali 500 and it should be shown here 500. So there is a mistake. This Rupali should come on the debit side, whereas balance carried down should be brought on the credit side. So sales returns always shows a debit balance because it is loss or it is a this reduction in the value of sales. So to balance, when sales balance shows a credit balance, returns should be on the debit side. So ignore this particular mistake. That's why it's a mistake. That's why that particular part has appeared in red ink. Followed? So it should be on the debit side. Sales returns account is to be debited to Rupali's account 500, and in red ink it should be balance carried down. Next, coming to drawings account. So drawings account is debited to cash. I will draw drawings account. Drawings account on the debit side you are having 10,000, and on the credit side the balance should be brought down. The next, cash account. Now coming to cash account, on 29th I have withdrawn, so show it on the credit side of my bank drawings account. Next, you are having the last account, salary account is paid to cash. So I will write draw salaries account. Salary account is debited. On the debit side of salary account it is cash 6,000. Next, coming to the cash account, the last will be paid salary. On the credit side, I should write 6,000. Now come to the cash account. Debit side is 2,30,000, whereas my credit side total is having a shortage of 79,000. Now this 79,000 is the difference between my credit side and debit side. So you are having balance carried down 79,000. So for the beginning of next month, that is on 1st February 2017, I have a total of 79,000 where I can begin or I can start my new activities. So we are having the end of the ledger accounts. In some more problems we'll see in the next class. Till then, be safe and thank you. I hope you all have followed the ledger accounts. If any queries are there, you all can inquire anytime.